Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, all. This afternoon, will present material about the teaching reading. The first one, students need to be involved in the both extensive and extensive reading to get the maximum benefit from their reading. Intensive reading is designed to develop their ability to read for a number of different purposes, such as getting the general meaning of the text and understanding what is behind the word. Extensive reading has a different focus as it is designed to get the students to read as much as possible away from the classroom and improve their knowledge of vocabulary, grammar, spelling, and punctuation. At the beginning, learners will be mostly concerned with the bottom-up processing, while later they will involve themselves in more top-down processing, such as reading for inference or genes. Learners should be given of a variety of the text and reading purpose for different purposes, such as getting the general meaning of the text and understanding what is behind the word inference. Extensive reading should be done away from the classroom to improve their knowledge of vocabulary, grammar, spelling, and punctuation. At the beginning, learners should focus at the bottom processing to understand the meaning of the words, while later they will involve themselves in the bottom top-down processing. The first one, extensive reading. Reading material in many course books is often accompanied by exercise types such as true or false questions, multi-choice questions, and questions which ask what, how often, when, and etc. However, comparison questions can be used to focus on the teaching reading rather than testing it. The first way to do this is to get the student to read the questions before they read the text and speculate on what the correct answer might be. This will help active their schema and give them the idea of how to read and what to do look for. When the students have read the text, it is a good idea to have them go through the questions in pairs of groups and refer to the part of the text which helped them to decide it. This will ensure their engagement with the text. Students can use other ways to interact with the reading text, such as comparison questions, which can be just as effective as comparison questions. First one, encouraging students' responses. Encourage students' engagements with a text by asking whether they like it or why not. Students can also mark text with the symbols such as a 3, 7, and question mark. To indicate how will they have understood the text, finally students can complete a chart before they read the text to guide their reading. This encourages them to express a personal response to why they are reading. And the next, transferring information. Students can demonstrate their understanding of the text by completing graphs, pie charts, and corresponding information into a dialogue, telling a story or describing information from a text from a opposing point of view, and applying close attention to the text. So the next chance I give to Anita Mamor.
Okay, thank you so much. And then integrating the text. Text can be used to promote critical thinking by asking questions about the truth of the text. Evidence used to back up the writer's opinions, how much it depends on culture, and how well written it is. Higher level students can also interrogate text in this way. And then, using reading as a springboard. Students can use a text as a springboard for follow-up activities and tests such as debating, role-playing, writing letters, and transferring information into other media. And then the vocabulary question. It is often said that students need to know 95% of the words in a text in order to be able to understand it easily. However, it is unlikely that we will be able to meet this 95% figure for all students, leading to a common reading lesson paradox. Teachers encourage students to read for general understanding, while students are desperate to know what each individual word means. We need to find an accommodation between our students' desire to develop particular reading skills and strategies and their natural urge to understand the meaning of every single word. Pre-teaching can help students to acquire strategies for dealing with the challenges text, but there are potential problems with this, such as our concentrates on pre-thought word and taking of the focus away from the rest of the text. It is important to give students an opportunity to discover the meaning of the vocabulary they have found difficult. This process could take up a considerable amount of time. So, we need to reach some kind of bargain with our students so that meaning explanation and searches do not become unmanageable. And then interrogating the text. Text can be used to promote critical thinking by asking questions about the truth of the text. Evidence used to back up the written opinions, how much it depends on culture, and how well written it is. Higher level students can also integrate text in this way. And then there are three ways of doing this. The first, time limit. We can give a time limit of, say, 5 minutes for post reading vocabulary inquiry. Whether this involves dictionary use, language corpus searches, or questions to the teacher. And the second, word of praise. Limit, we can say that we will only answer the question about 5 or 8 words or phrases. And then meaning consensus. The most important details are that individual students write down 5 words from the text they most want to know the meaning of. Then share their list with another student and come up with a joint list of only 5 words. Two pairs join to make new groups of 4, and after new groups of 8 have been formed, the students can look for the meanings of their words in dictionaries and answer the question the words which the groups have decided on. This process works for two reasons. The first one is it allows the student to tell each other about some of the words which individual students did not know. And then it encourages them to invest some time in the meaning search. And then analytical reading or text meaning. For the next explain I give time to Kakak Intan.
Okay, thank you, Anita. Let me continue. And the third, analytical reading or text meaning. Language learners read to improve their lexical and grammatical knowledge, which can be achieved through repeat extensive reading. However, It can also be used to mine text for new language or language use. This can be done by asking students to analyze any text they encounter analytically, such as past tense verbs, lexical cohesion, and punctuation. Source text can be used to discuss why the words are put in the order they are examine 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 the agreement of subject and verb, or talk about whether the text get its message across. Text meaning usually takes place after the students have read for comprehension or have given some other kind of response to a text. And the fourth, reading aloud. Students read aloud from their textbooks in classroom all over the world, which is an old and common procedure that teachers use. However, when reading aloud is organized so that the students read sentence from the text that they have not seen before, that results are usually unsatisfactory. This is a pity. This is a pity, as reading aloud can be incredibly useful and can help with the links between sounds and written forms. It can also increase the confidence of weaker students by giving them a chance to get their minds around a continuous flow of correctly formed, meaningful English. To be successful, students should read the sentence or paragraph to themselves and think about how they would say it. They should also mumble or vocalize it so that they can feel how it sounds. The most important details in this text are the students should read in pairs or small groups, and only when they think they know where to place the stress, how to pronounce the word, and what intonation to use, will they be asked to read individually in front of the whole class. To encourage students to read aloud with enthusiasm, they should choose their favorite sentence from the text they have just read, underlines it, thinks about how to say it, and then practice it or under their breath as many times as they want. To make reading aloud even more involving, students can follow in their books, mark stress syllables, and read along with the teacher or the audio in a technique called parallel speaking. Gradually, the audio is fade out, so that by the time they are reading on their own, they can do so with confidence and ability. And the fifth, extensive reading. Extensive reading is encouraged not for language study, but for practicing reading, having a pleasurable experience, and gradually acquiring language. It is believed that the more students read, the better they get at vocabulary recognition, spelling, writing, and pronunciation. Extensive reading materials. Students can read whatever they want, to read for extensive reading, of course, just like anyone else. Extensive reading task despite our wish that our students should enjoy reading and be motivated to do a lot of it on their own, not all of them get the reading habit. Talking about talking about books, many teachers boost their students' motivation to read, or and their enjoyment of it by organizing book clubs or literature circles. When the students have read a book or books, they get together or either in the class or perhaps over a coffee and talk about what they have read. Extensive and intensive extensive reading is important because um, it can be fun and good for language learning. But if encouraging them to read for pleasure is not enough, reports and discussion groups can be used to keep them on track. And the sixth, reading sequence. Students engage with full text to understand meaning, to use predicate to use predication to use prediction to activate scan writing and create writing and resemble text. Thank you so much.